Hello and welcome. As with any prototype, you find a few things that aren't quite right, and I found a few with this lathe. One of them was this motor I put on here, this cheap drill motor. It's actually a pretty good drill motor, but I didn't pay much for it. But it coasts. So when it doesn't stop immediately. And on the cross slide, if you're getting close to your chuck, you need it to stop immediately. So I'm going to go through what I did to fix that. Okay, what I've done here, I put a bushing in that. So it freewheels on the 5/8 shaft. And I took this, I made a hand wheel and glued a piece of rubber to it right there. Put a handle on it. And that goes right here. And that hooks firmly to the shaft, and then the sprocket goes up against it to drive it. It'll be more clear here in a minute. To do that though, I needed some way to push that sprocket over. So I made this thing. I guess you could call it a clutch yoke. It's got a couple of ball bearings on it and a pivot point. I gotta show you what I've done here. This is an interesting way to mount a bearing, and it's extremely simple. It's useful. I didn't make a mandrel for it or a shaft to fit inside the bearing. I just used a countersink screw and a spacer big enough to cover that middle race. Just tighten that up. The countersink screw keeps it centered. See there? That's centered. Works pretty good, huh? This lever mechanism mounts right here. Goes right there. A clutch plate. Right there with it contacting it, my sprockets are aligned. Now, I will replace this switch, which I haven't yet, with a, it's a momentary contact, double pole, double throw. And it's a reversing switch, but I want to make one that's stays switched. This one is momentary. So with the motor running, noticed a little bit of jerking there. I don't know why I was doing that. Maybe I need to lubricate the sprocket, the bushing on it, so it disengages better. Or maybe change the alignment very slightly so that the chain tension tends to pull the sprocket away from the clutch plate. think that's what I need to do. It's actually a little better aligned anyway. Yeah, I lubricated that sprocket. Works pretty good now. I think that's got it. Thanks for joining me.